Pag-testify ni dating PCSO General Manager Royina Garma sa ICC laban kay dating Pangulong Duterte at ang possible application ng mag-asawang Diskaya sa Witness Protection Program ating tatalakayin kasama si Assistant Secretary Miko Clavano, ang tagapagsalita ng Department of Justice. Asek, magandang tanghali po at welcome sa Bagong Pilipinas ngayon.
Magandang tanghali po, Director Rachel and Yusek Aboy.
Asek, dito po sa pagiging testigo ni dating PCSO General Manager Garma sa ICC, ano po ang naging proseso sa pagpayag niya na maging testigo laban kay dating Pangulong Duterte?
Actually po, Director, itong role po ng Department of Justice sa ICC case ay nasa limited po sa witness protection. Ang ugnayan po between the Philippine government and the ICC is only through the Witness Protection Program Director. No? Only matters of protection are discussed. As for the case po, no, actually dumediretso po talaga ang ICC kay Ms. Garma doon sa kanyang mga statements at possible affidavits. At kaya siguro po ay pinalipad po nila sa Kuala Lumpur para po doon po sila magkita. And so the substance of the affidavit and the statements po no ni Colonel Garma are hindi po namin alam talaga. Ang inaalam lang po namin yung mga arrangements po nila and to make sure that she is safe and protected here in the Philippines.
Well, Asek, no? Ano naman ang mga konkretong hakbang ng DOJ upang masiguro ang kaligtasan ni Garma bilang testigo, lalo na't nabanggit, uniform personnel pala, mga posibleng kalaban nito?
Yes po, itong pagdating po niya last Saturday, after she was cleared by immigration, dahil po wala naman po siyang warrant of arrest, ay pina-escort po natin ng mga taga-NBI, si former Colonel Garma, doon sa kanyang tahanan. And the next day, nung in-advise po siya ng ICC na kailangan muna siyang umalis din ng bansa kaagad, ay pina-escort din po natin ang si former Colonel Garma sa airport, no? And si NBI director po mismo ang kasama niya po doon para malaman po yung next na mga hakbang and how to still keep the open communication between the Philippine government and her if in case no na manganib po yung buhay ni former Colonel Garma. So, yun po yung mga hakbang na inano namin sa DOJ and we hope that she continues to be safe despite being in another country.
Asek, ano naman po ang magiging epekto ng pagiging testigo ni Garma sa ICC sa kanyang pananagutan sa kasong kriminal na isinampa po ng NBI kaugnay sa pagkamatay ni Wesley Barayuga?
Well, yung kay Wesley Barayuga po is, sa tingin po namin, is a part of a whole. No? Yun pong kaso na yun ay iisa lang, ngunit sa ICC, ang kailangan kasi nilang i-prove doon ay isang pattern no of widespread killing where they used state machinery. Kaya siguro po if you look at it in the lens of a microscope, itong kaso ni Barayuga ang makikita mo, which we are processing and it's still under preliminary investigation here in the Department of Justice. Kaya lang po, pag nakita po natin yung buong scheme at pattern, although hindi naman natin trabaho yun, yun po yung trabaho ng prosecutor ng ICC, no? Para ilatag po yan sa ICC court. Pag makita nila po yan, it will form a piece of the whole. So, importante yung case na to para po ma-establish natin ang isang incident, pero ang mas importante pa dito ay makita po natin yung buong pattern.
Well, Asek, no, paano naman kaya tinitiyak ng DOJ na hindi matatabunan or makakalimutan ang kasong to habang nakatutok din naman sa kanyang testimonya sa ICC?
Well, sa amin po, we are focused on what is before us, no? At dalawa po yan with regards to the ICC. Itong case po ni Wesley Barayuga, in which case na submitted na po for resolution ang kaso na yon. So in a few days or weeks, we will see what the decision is, no, by the panel of prosecutors in that case. At pangalawa po, tinitignan po natin yung kaligtasan ni former Colonel Garma, which is our obligation to the ICC in terms of this case.
Asik, posible po bang magsilbing state witness si Garma hindi lamang sa ICC, kundi pati rin po dun sa mga lokal na kaso dito sa bansa?
Of course, ma'am, there is always that possibility. Kaya lang po, kailangan muna niyang ilatag yung information sa atin ng maganda, no? There has to be somebody who is more guilty than her in the case, dahil isa po yan sa mga requirements bilang para ma-discharge as a state witness. The person who is discharged as a state witness, hindi po pwede siya ang most guilty sa kaso. So hanggat hindi po siya maglatag ng mga pangalan na mas guilty sa kanya, yung mga umutos sa kanya ng mga ganitong bagay, we cannot consider her as a state witness yet. However, if the time comes at meron po siyang masabing mga pangalan na mas malaki sa kanya and who have more of a direct involvement here, then it is possible to consider her for witness protection and state witness.
Ako, no, Cheryl, Asik, Miko, ito alam ko magiging uso to eh. Pero ano ang magiging tugon ng DOJ kung may iba pang opisyal ng gobyerno ang lalapit na nais ding maging testigo sa ICC? At paano tinitiyak ng DOJ na ang mga testigo ay hindi ginagamit lamang para sa political na interes kundi para sa hustisya at katotohanan?
Well, dito po sa DOJ, Yusek, we've always been and will always be evidence-based. Hindi po tayo gagalaw at yun po talaga ang policy ni Secretary Remulla na hindi po kami talaga gagalaw kung wala po kaming ebidensya na hinahawakan. And the evidence that we hold is not mere probable cause anymore. We are pushing for that threshold of reasonable certainty of conviction. Kaya we put upon ourselves the responsibility na kumuha ng magandang ebidensya para sa lahat ng kaso na fina-file namin sa korte. So hindi po nangyayari ngayon sa bagong administrasyon ni Secretary Remulla na pwede tayo pumili kung sino ang kakasuhan at kung sino hindi. Basta nakalatag po ang ebidensya and it reaches the threshold na reasonable certainty of conviction, lahat po yan, fina-filean po natin ang kaso. So with regards to playing politics, that is something that you should not expect from the DOJ under the leadership of Secretary Remulla.
Asik, sa ibang usapin naman po, ano yung magiging pangunahing kondisyon ng DOJ bago i-consider ang pagbibigay ng immunity sa mag-asawang Pacifico at Sara Diskaya?
Alam nyo, this is something that is quite tricky kasi ang pinaparinig nila sa atin ay wala po silang choice na magbigay ng amount, no, sa DPWH officials, kung sino man ibang officials ng government. Pero sa tingin po kasi natin, ito po ay isang conspiracy kung saan before the implementation of the project, alam na po nila kung ilan or magkano ang mga amounts na ihahati nila. That is clear from certain evidence also showed yesterday, no? However, if they can prove that they really were coerced or threatened, baka pwede natin i-consider. But under one condition, na kailangan nilang isauli yung pera na nakuha nila illegally from these transactions. Hindi po talaga nagtutugma, no, yung amounts that they have amassed, that they so proudly show to the public in terms of their house, their assets, their cars. Hindi po talaga tumutugma sa mga sinasabi nilang 3% lang. Kaya pag malaman natin at madali lang naman yan i-verify, no? Basta ma-establish na po yung Truth Commission ni Presidente, madali nang i-validate po yung mga sinasabi nilang mga numbers. And if it does not measure up to the assets that they have so proudly declared to the public, then they have to return everything above their legal income. And that is something that the Secretary has put as a condition na kailangan muna nilang ibalik yung mga nanakaw nila, nakuha nila sa maling paraan para po mapag-usapan na natin yung pagiging state witness nila.
Well, gaya ng binanggit natin kanina, maraming mag-a-apply na state witness sa inyo, Asik Miko. Pero ito, may tanong ho tayo mula sa GMA News Online. Regarding the Discayas being state witnesses, are witnesses under the WPP required to return illegally obtained funds? If not, can the state require them to do so under the Whistleblower Protection Act, Asik?
Yes, that is the spirit behind the Whistleblowers Act, na kailangan muna nilang isauli yung pera na nakuha nila. Just like the Secretary of Justice mentioned, we cannot afford to be laughed at. Dahil lang po binigyan natin ng witness protection at state immunity, it does not mean that they have the license to retain lahat po ng nakuha nila sa crime. Hindi man po ibig sabihin na dahil naging whistleblower sila, they can already get away with the illegal proceeds of the crime that they themselves are co-conspirators in. So, in that case po, no, madali lang naman intindihan yon. Hindi naman natin kailangan tumingin pa sa batas, pero dun lang siguro sa logic, sa simpleng logic, no, kailangan po talagang ibalik yung mga nakuha nila illegally.
Asik, paano naman po tinitimbang ng DOJ kung ang isang tao ay hindi most guilty at karapat-dapat ba maging isang state witness? At sa kaso naman po ng mag-asawang Diskaya?
Well, there are other requirements that are needed to be discharged as a state witness. At isa doon po, no, yung statement nila ay kailangan necessary and to the case. And the case will not succeed kung wala po yung statement na yon. Ngayon, kung ang ibig po sabihin yan, if a statement is absolutely necessary in the case, that means there are no other corroborating evidence. If the Truth Commission can uncover documentary evidence through forensics that there are amounts that are lost and that the statements of the Diskayas are corroborated materially by other object evidence, thereby no longer necessitating the statement as part of the evidence, then they do not need to be discharged as state witnesses. Pero kung magtatayo yung, or tatayo lang yung kaso kung nandyan yung statement ng mga Diskaya, then they can be considered still as state witnesses. But we will have to cross the bridge when we get there po, no? Marami po tayong malalaman dito sa case na ito, lalo na through the Truth Commission that the President is composing.
Ito no, maraming gusto malaman yung sagot sa tanong na to. No? Matapos naman pangalanan ng mga Diskaya ang ilang umanong sangkot sa anomalya ng flood control projects. Medyo marami-rami ito, Cheryl, no?
Mahabang listahan.
Oo. Ano magiging proseso ng DOJ para tiyakin, mapanagot ang mga ito, Asek?
Siyempre po, we always give due respect to the legislative. If in case meron po silang committee report after all these hearings, we would love to see it. Pero hindi din po ibig sabihin na we will give full credence to everything that is said in the Congress and Senate. We, as the Department of Justice, in charge of filing cases in court, have to make sure that all these statements are validated and verified. We have to corroborate all the statements with object evidence para po mapalakas pa po natin yung mga kaso. A lot has been revealed and we thank the Congress and Senate for starting the ball rolling, but with the establishment of the Truth Commission by the President, that will serve as the next step para po mas malalim na po ang investigation na mangyayari, and hopefully, and dapat lang makapag-file na tayo ng kaso after that.
Asik, sa usapin naman po ng missing sa Bungeros, tanong po mula kay Luisa Erispe ng PTV. Ano daw po ang latest update sa remains ng mga sabungero? Meron na po bang na-confirm na remains mula sa DNA testing po?
Yes, the Philippine Coast Guard confirmed that they had retrieved from the lake bed of Taal another set of skeletons that are determined to be human remains. This was reported to us in the past few days. We are again coming up with an updated inventory, and this will all go through the DNA testing, which we have been doing since the start of the operation.
Okay. Tanong naman po mula sa GMA News Online, nabigyan na ba ng subpoena regarding complaints sa missing sabongeros? If yes, kailan ang scheduled preliminary investigation po, ASEC?
Yes po, subpoenas have been issued from the preliminary report given by the National Prosecution Service as against the 59 or 60 respondents in the case of the missing sabongeros. Dahil po marami yan sila and we usually serve that personally, the service is still ongoing. So nagsimula po tayo mag-serve ng subpoenas kahapon at ngayon po nagpapatuloy po tayo sa pag-serve ng mga subpoenas na yon. As to the date, I will have to confirm as to when exactly the first hearing in the preliminary investigation will be.
ASEC, sunod na tanong po ni Luisa Erispe, sino-sino at ilan na po ang napadalhan ng subpoena? Kasama po ba ang business tycoon na si Atong Ang?
Well, definitely, pagkatapos ng service, he would have been served already with a subpoena. I'm not sure if nasama po siya sa first batch or sa second batch today, pero po, ang goal po natin is to have everyone serve their subpoenas by today. So we can expect na all 59 or 60 of the respondents would have been able to receive their subpoenas yesterday or today.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras sa ating kaibigan at laging maaasahang Assistant Secretary Miko Clavano, spokesperson ho ng DOJ. Salamat po, ASEC.
Thank you, Sec. Thank you, Director. Magandang araw po sa lahat.
Thank you po, ASEC.